So start by getting yourself a cardboard tube, and then you want to take a second cardboard tube that can fit over the first one. You want to cut that down to 10 inches, and that'll slide right onto the center of the other one. So mark out where that sits, and then you're just going to wrap some silver adhesive foil, or you can also glue on tin foil, on both ends, covering the lines that you made. Cut off the ends so that they're flush with the edge of the tube. And then when you slide the other piece back on, it should just lightly cover the silver. So paint the ends of the shorter tube black. You don't have to go all the way down because the middle will be covered, as will the very ends. Take a piece of craft foam, 2mm craft foam, and you're going to cover that with some silver foil on one side. So stick the foil to it and then cut off any excess. You want to leave a little tail on the end so that you can bend it around and stick it to itself. So fold that around the end of the shorter tube. You can stick that to itself, do one to each end. Then take a really thin piece covered in silver foil and wrap that around. You're going to do that with 4 of those little thin pieces on each side. And then you'll take a fairly large piece covered in silver foil, enough to go around the open space in the center, leaving just a little bit of space where the thin pieces were, just like that. Then take another thin piece of foam. You're going to glue an even thinner piece of foam right onto the center of that. You want these pieces of foam to be black because they're going to be the grips, so they're just going to stay the way they are with no painting. Then you just glue the grips all the way around the center, just like that. And so put a little bit of glue on the big tube and slide the shorter one right onto the center of it and let that dry. Then take a little half circle and bend it around itself, and that should bend at an angle, so measure it so it fits on the end of the tube. Mark off where it needs to sit, pull it back off, and then cover it in some silver foil all the way around the top side. And that'll hold it in place too. Cut off the excess foil on the top and the bottom, so it should be perfectly covered like that. The inside nobody will see. Put a little bit of glue around the base of the bigger tube that you put on, and then slide that piece down with the wider end going toward the inside of the saber. Put one on each end of the saber, and then you'll slide on a second one, but this time the small end will be pointing inward. So cut out this little piece and cover it in some silver foil. And then you're just going to glue that onto the end, bending it all the way around and fastening the excess foil in place. And then slide up that second little piece so it's at the base. And put one on each side again. So the only difference is that the ends are facing opposite directions. So the short side is facing opposite directions. Cut this piece out of some cardstock and cover it in silver foil. And then you're just going to glue that onto the very center of the taller side of the end of the saber. Take some thin pieces of black foam, wind one around the base of the end piece, and then stick another one a little bit further down. Then just take some plastic beads, stick a red one and a silvery one. You can also paint these, but I just use them as is to save time. Then a really tiny red one, and then a tiny silver one, and you alter where the red and silver go with these. Just like that. And then do the same thing to the other side as well. And then you've got yourself the entire finished lightsaber. All set and ready to go. This one's a pretty quick one to put together, so it's kind of fun if you've never built a lightsaber before. It's a good one to start with.